Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, with your numerology forecast for October 2023, if you are in a sixth personal year. So first of all, if you are new to numerology, or if you just need a reminder, please just take one moment. Go to FeliciaBender.com, click on monthly forecast. There's a calculator there that will calculate your personal year number for you. There's also the easiest math ever in the description box below, and it will show you how to calculate your personal year, because these forecasts are based on the personal year number, not the life path number. All right, so those are two different things in numerology. We just want to make sure you're at the right place at the right time, listening to the correct forecast. So this is the sixth personal year. It is October, and it is a 7 personal month for you. So the point of destination that you're in right now is really infused with the number 7 for October. So what does that mean for you? It means that this is a month to dive inward, to really give yourself a break, really. And I mean, can I say it again? Really? This is a time to regroup. It's a time to kind of step back and think about January of this year, at the beginning of the year. Close your eyes. Think about January. What was going on then? What was the vibe? What were you feeling? Because the energy of the month of October is the same as it was in January. You're experiencing 2 of these 7 personal months for you. And so the 7 is that introspective, knowledge gathering, soul seeking energy. And so that is what you get to explore this month. So I find that when we repeat a cycle within a cycle, meaning that you're revisiting a 7 personal month within this personal year, this 6th personal year that you're experiencing, it's really beneficial to reflect back, see what was maybe happening during this time, maybe some common themes, some common topics, and it really offers you this great opportunity to up-level your experience as you walk through it again, and to make the most out of these opportunities that you're being presented with. All right, so this is a prime time right now. Step back. It's kind of time for study, research, writing, teaching, inner growth, anything having to do with contemplating your higher levels of existence. I don't want to sound too corny or too lofty, and yet this is really about higher consciousness, connecting with whatever you consider to be your spiritual pathway, however that might show up for you at this day and time in your life. So the energy of the 7, which is the vibe for October, for these 4 weeks for you, is all about stopping for a moment, going inward, and it is really going to be exploring your truth. I mean, truly, again, it feels very effusive. And yet the 7 often is presenting you as something, a deeper dive, peeling your own personal onion right now. So your 6th personal year has been a time devoted to additional home-based responsibilities and relationship evaluations on all fronts. I'm sure you're coming to terms with some of the things that are working for you in your relationships. This can be intimate relationships, collegial relationships, friendships, all of the above, and ways that certain things maybe aren't quite working for you anymore. September was that peak month. Maybe there are a few little, I don't know, eruptions or instances that made you, I don't know, reevaluate, push that envelope in some way or shape or form. So September has a way of doing that to all of us during our personal year. It really brings an intensive focus to what we've been working on thematically throughout the year. And yet October is the perfect time to analyze your current needs and desires. Some good days for focusing on these issues are between October 9th and October 17th. So certain changes that need to happen in your life are taking form right now. So it most likely feels like an intense month, requiring that you place some renewed trust in yourself and your trust in your cosmic support team. Again, however that shows up for you and your thinking around that. What is meant for you will find you. And this month offers you an opportunity to really release and go with your flow. Have some trust in yourself, first of all, and then that everything is in alignment. And again, what is meant for you is on its pathway to meeting you right now. And that can be a little tricky. We all know. It's like, really? I got to push it. I got to push it. I got to know. I got to have clarity. Well, what if you didn't? What if you didn't have to know? What if you're just moving with it, moving with that flow, trusting it and trusting the outcome without having set expectations? Really interesting tap dance that you get to do. So it's going to find you with more resolve and speed, whatever it is for you, whether it's moving a relationship forward or backward, whether it's a home-based decision, maybe job seeking, anything where you're having to kind of move into some new arena, right? So this is your time to stand still and not grasp for it. Stand still and allow it to catch up with you. So that's what this month is really all about. So next year ushers in opportunity to change the texture and the direction of your life in a profound and permanent way. Yet it's going to be a slow, deep, and intimate process. So next year, 2024, brings you into a 7 personal year. And so the 7 is this 4-week kind of foray, this little appetizer that you get to feel into, and you kind of get to experience this for a short time before you're going to be heading into a prolonged period, a 12-month period of this contemplative, soul-seeking 7 energy. All right. So if you are extra sensitive, or if you're, into this sort of thing, you might enjoy feeling into this energy and opening yourself to the idea that this will be an ongoing theme for you in all of its intricate manifestations for the next year, again, starting in 2024. So immense levels of deep personal and spiritual transformation and growth are ahead of you. So you're getting to dip your toe in the water in October. So it can be rather fun, really, to lightly consider all of this, and to perhaps even write down a few notes in your journal about what comes up, how it feels, what direction you're feeling you're going. Usually it feels very deep and inexplicable. So then maybe you can refer back to your notes to kind of get your bearings as you head into next year and see how it all connects and interweaves together. So you've potentially been right now in your 6th personal year this year, or rather at the beck and call of everyone in your world. The 6 is where you're, being asked to step up your responsibility with those you love, those in your intimate circle. And certainly you might feel a bit worn, a little bit worn out, maybe worn thin, maybe like you've been giving. And what about, when's it my turn sort of thing. So if you can reserve the weeks of October 6th or 18th for a bit of self-care, study, kind of relax a little, contemplation, rest, please do so. This is a great time for maybe a little personal retreat. It could be a short weekend. I don't know. It depends on who you are and how this meets up with you. But sometimes it's a great time for a little yoga weekend with your friends, or a meditation weekend offering, or something of that nature that's really going to allow you time and space for yourself. Maybe it's learning something new. Maybe you go to a conscious breathing workshop, or I don't know, learn something new that you have been very interested in. This is a perfect month for that to happen. It's also time to check in with your body and get everything in alignment with your physical vessel. It might be a time to revisit that, what you've been eating, what you've been eating and drinking, and really reevaluate that. And maybe redevote yourself to whatever exercise regime you can begin to implement on the daily, right? Not just the wild and crazy, let's exercise at the gym for 4 hours every day for 2 weeks and then we give up. Because it's not sustainable, right? So you have to really begin to contemplate, how do I want to really make this a sustainable part of who I am and how I meet my life every day? So this is going to require, I would like to say needless to say, and yet sometimes it's not needless. Sometimes we have to say it. This is going to mean that you're going to need some alone time. You're going to spend a little time by yourself, really contemplating these things, and taking care of these aspects of yourself. And this is really part of the positive agenda in front of you in October. So not to mention, sidebar there with the self-care. This is a great month, honestly, to get to the dentist if you've been putting that off. Maybe your annual doctor's visit, chiropractor, other health maintenance provider, anything of that nature. If you've been putting it off, this is a really good month to listen to that call and make the appointment, show up for it. All right. So this is the time when you're analyzing how you'll feel if you don't make the changes that you need to make, right? Sometimes that's the kicker. It's like, oh my gosh. What would happen if I'm having the same complaints with the same issues next year at this time? Is that worth it? So you'll feel as though you're writing on somewhat of a different wavelength this month. So let yourself detach a little bit. You don't have to take a month-long silent retreat, even though, hey, no harm, no foul. If you can manage it, why not? And yet, that's not the mandate here. You don't have to take that month-long silent retreat in order to take advantage of the energy that October brings to you. If you're called to be able to take a break, right, and make that happen, unwinding near some water or even engage in an actual retreat setting, really fabulous month in October to do that. So if you've been working on a creative or a business project, this is a red letter month to unplug, really dig into it. Often in a 7 personal month, this is when you sit with something for a while, you digest it, you process it, you ask the question in a different way. You feel out different avenues of information, right? So think about that as you carry forward. Nothing happens at breakneck speed in a 7 personal month. So October is going to test your sense of trust, of vulnerability. It's also going to test your ability to trust yourself, trust other people, and what the universe has in store for you, right? Sometimes we can really get a little bit pissy about that. It's like, hey, I wrote this down in my manifestation log over a week ago. Why don't I have that? Why didn't I win the lottery? It's like, you got to trust in the timing, right? You got to trust in how things are unfolding. So oddly, or I don't know, perhaps not so oddly, October is a month where some major thoughts, feelings, and issues around or related to your 6 personal year themes come up in full force. What are those? I'm going to remind you again. So where do you feel at home? Have you moved this year? Have you reestablished your home? Are you still getting it in order the way that you want it, buying a few pieces, to put, pieces of art to put on the wall, or getting some new crockery, all of those sorts of things? Are you maybe initiating or longing for a geographical move? Maybe you're looking at jobs in different cities, that sort of thing. That can be happening right now. Perhaps you just moved into a different home or apartment and are getting settled and would like to, really get settled there. Or maybe you've been putting off really admitting to yourself that you want to commit to another move. So anyway, I don't want to belabor it. And yet there are all those elements, all those aspects and tributaries that can come up for us when I talk about things related to your home, right? So it can manifest in different ways depending on who you are and what's happening in your world right now. So then there's the issue of responsibility. So that is another red letter item in your 6th personal year. This has been under the microscope all year long. So, and then the cherry on top right now, of course, love in the broadest sense, relationship. These are the key issues that are going to really occupy your heart, mind, and soul in October: home, responsibility, relationship. So the energy of your 6th personal year has kind of a little bit of a smidgen of sacrifice kind of woven in to the mix. So if you bring in some synonyms, I'm still that way. I look up things. I'm weird. I know. I look up things in the dictionary. I look up things in the Thesaurus. So I looked it up. I looked up sacrifice. And so you can really lean into it in very interesting ways. So here are a few of the Thesaurus synonyms for sacrifice, and they are surrender, part with, and forego. Those are just 3 synonyms, and here are a few others: atonement, offering, and reparation are 3 more. I love the richness of words and what it brings to each and every one of us in terms of the depth and breadth of meaning of how things feel and what they signify for each of us. So my point is that the number 6 is the number of, in some ways, self-sacrifice, yet with balance. That is the key feature whenever the 6 shows up. It's that cosmic parenting energy, and yet not self-sacrificing and enabling. So there's always a very definitive and yet fine line when you're working with the 6 about how to, be responsible and yet not take on more responsibilities and enable others to be irresponsible or just not emotionally mature individuals, right? So it's also about not being judgmental and offering those healthy boundaries. So at the end of the day, the 6 offers a really profound, warm, and genuine sense of gratification when you're helping, when you're supporting other people. It's not like you're totally, just giving and being, and being taken advantage of. No, it's about the warmth, the feeling of love, and the reciprocity that happens there. I always say in the 6th personal year, it's about how do I love and how do I want to be loved. And at this point in this 6th personal year, you're really, really coming to terms with what that looks and feels like for you individually. So take some nice autumn hikes outdoors if you can. Spend any time by water, a creek, an ocean, a lake, a jacuzzi, anything. You'll not regret it. Take a techno detox session if you can. Unplug for a weekend. Don't pick up the phone. Don't, no doom scrolling. Just really sit with yourself and see what comes up. So spend your solitary time analyzing the changes and accomplishments with which you've been involved with this year. So how are you doing? I'm going to ask. All right. That is your forecast for the 6th personal year for October 2023. If you are, I don't know, if you're numerology curious, go to FeliciaBender.com. I've got tons of things there for all things numerology, from a certification course to ordering your own chart and everything in between. Lots of free material there on the life path, lots of articles to learn about numerology. So if you're curious about that, go to FeliciaBender.com. Otherwise, I wish you a fabulous October, and I will see you back here for November's forecast at the end of this month.